right, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. It is time for Veterans News. Hank Whittier is not here today. Sitting in the captain's seat is Gary Pascale. Good morning, Gary. How are you?
Good morning, Larry. I'm doing good, and good morning, veterans, and good morning, listeners. Hopefully, pretty soon we'll be in that building, and they won't have construction meetings every Thursday, and you'll have Hank back on a regular basis. But until then, we'll go ahead and fill in for him and do the best we can. We do have some casualties today to discuss, Larry, with the fire administration, police officers, and we also have a Department of Defense casualty. Starting with the fire administration, we have Lieutenant Christopher Lane, who was with the Demopolis Fire Department in Demopolis, Alabama. His date of death was March the 23rd. And we have two law enforcement casualties. We have Sergeant Curtis Blackbird of the Omaha Nation Law Enforcement Service Tribal Police. His end of watch was Sunday, March 26th, and he was killed in a vehicular accident. And we have Police Officer Justin Turney of the Tecumseh Police Department in Tecumseh, Oklahoma. His end of watch was Monday, March the 27th, and his death was a result of gunfire. In one unfortunate Department of Defense casualty to identify, we have Staff Sergeant Alexandria May Morrow, who was 25 years old, of Dansville, New York, who died on March 22nd in Southwest Asia. She was assigned to the 336th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron, Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to the families of these firefighters, law enforcement people, and this military person. Larry?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Okay, we got a show lined up for you today. We don't have any special guests, but we got me and Robin and Larry, and we got Don. So, we're going to talk about a few things, but I do got a couple announcements. Want to let everybody know the Veterans Park's been busy lately. The Marion County Veterans Services and the Marion County Veterans Council, though, invite you to join them on Saturday for the quarterly memorial ceremony, and that'll be April 1st. Well, April's come around fast, hasn't it, Larry?
Yeah, I believe.
At 10 a.m., this is a beautiful ceremony. They do the ringing of the bell. Usually they have the firing squad. And what they do at the quarterly ceremony is they mention all the veterans of Marion County who have went on to their reward for the whole quarter. And the reading of names this time is going to be provided by American Legion Post 354. And also, I got a note here from my buddy Don. He says a gentleman by the name of Alex Arango and Will Diamond are going to do a honor flight to the Veterans War Memorials. I guess it'll be leaving out of Tampa, Don? And I want to give you a phone number, a couple phone numbers for that, if you have a veteran that's interested in visiting these war memorials. And that number is, the first number is area code 813-770-5826. And the second number is, again, area code 813-417-9626. Again, for more information, dial those numbers if you have a veteran that wants to go see the memorials that they have not gotten to see yet.
Yeah.
How much time before we...
We got about 4
Got time
minutes.
to do commercial? All right.
minutes, yeah.
I want to go ahead and, as usual, thank the sponsors. You know, without WOCA, we wouldn't be able to be on the air, so we just thank the great folks here at WOCA. And our longtime sponsors, the folks at Bob Wine's Camellia Garden and Nursery. Now, they're located at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in our own beautiful Ocala. When it comes to your landscaping needs, Bob Wines has it. Everything you need, from small plants to large trees, mulch, fertilizer, and much more. Bob Wines will deliver. They'll plant your trees, and then when they plant them, they'll guarantee them. And they've been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952. You can contact them at area code 352-629-5766. And when you go down to Bob Wines, if you show them proof of being a veteran, you get a 10% discount on their beautiful foliage and plants. So make sure you have a visit with them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just one kind of sad announcement I got to make, and it's just sad in the sense that we were all so excited. We were all talking about the great grand opening, Larry, of the Veterans Center, and we invited quite a few people on May the 12th. But I want to make sure that cross that date off, because that date, due to a conflict in the county scheduling, is not going to be able to happen. I repeat, that May 12th grand opening is not going to happen due to a conflict in the county scheduling. Now, as soon as we get a date for the grand opening, we'll put it out, and I'm sure, Larry, that you guys here will be announcing it on a regular basis until we do the opening, and our apologies for that, but again, that was a scheduling conflict with the county, and hopefully the third week of April, we'll still be able to move in there, or the end of April. We don't know. Hank will know more today. He's got a construction meeting, but as soon as we find out a date for that grand opening, we'll let you know, because this is going to be a great thing for veterans. It's
Awesome. Yeah.
right there downtown, just a little bit north of the library. We got all kinds of great things going in, and I don't want to talk too much about that because I want to leave that for Hank, but it's going to be the first of its kind in the country, and a lot of people are excited. A lot of people, me included, are kind of chomping at the bit over getting into this new center. We're going to have a computer room. We're going to do computer classes. We're going to talk about a lot of health issues. We're going to try to have a healthy food pantry, and you don't see too many of those around. And a lot of people have really stepped up to the plate. We've got some freezers and refrigerators, and we're going to really try to have a good food pantry going on there. And a lot of people coming in with us to help with services like mortgages, physical fitness. The VA will be there as guests sometimes. Maybe we can get some registration going on there, and other things. And it's just going to be so less frustrating for the younger veterans who can just get off there. And the fact that we'll have Jeffrey and his staff right on the other side, because I can't tell you how many times a day I've got his number memorized by heart. When people call and I have to refer them to Jeffrey, and I know Jeffrey does the same thing. People call his office with stuff that would really pertain to us, and rather than having to tell the person, "Oh, you got to go," all you have to do is just take them to the door and say, "Well, that's Jeffrey's office," or there's Hank's office, and so we're really looking forward to this. And again, my apologies that the grand opening is not going to happen on May 12th, but we'll get that date to you as soon as possible, and we'll put it out here.
Robin is in the studio so that we could talk a little bit about the welcome home ceremony at the Veterans Park. Robin and I went there and took pictures, but we're up against a break. But before we take the break, I would like to say something. Every week, Gary, you thank WOCA, and you say your show wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for us, and it's a very, very nice thing that you say. But I want to return the compliment to veterans in general, and then say something to kind of challenge other communities, and this is it. We have the freedom to say whatever we want. Robin and I do a show every single morning. There's not one piece of paper in front of us that says, do not say this, do not criticize the president, do not criticize another president, do not we have the freedom to say anything we want to say, and that's because of our Constitution. And there's only one group of people that has defended that right and that whole Constitution, and that's you guys, the veterans. So while you're thanking us, we should thank you. We couldn't do this the way we do it. Can you imagine if we didn't have those freedoms? We'd have to be on the air every day saying, oh, that President Trump, he's the best thing since bananas, or whatever, right? So I just want to thank you. And the challenge to the other communities is this. Look, when we started doing this radio show, and you know the center that you're building is the first in the nation, right?
First in the nation.
Well, I think this show might be the first of its kind in the nation also. And it goes to the credit to Hank Whittier for coming to Tisch Moeller 12 years ago, maybe by now, and saying, because I had been inviting Hank in to talk little bits here and there, he said, wouldn't it be nice if we could do this on a regular basis? And to Tisch's credit, she said, yes, let's do it. Now think about this. It's one segment per week. That's it. That's all we give you. It's nothing. It's a half hour, but it's better than nothing, right? That's how I feel about it. And if radio stations across the country can't, if the local veterans group, let's say in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, just to pick a city out because I like saying Oshkosh, if they went to their radio station and said, can we do what they're doing in Ocala? And they said no, I would like to say, well, why not? I mean, a half hour a week? You can't do that? So anyway, that's my challenge, and just to thank you guys, because it sounds like it's a talking point, but it's not. It's the absolute truth. I'd probably be speaking German and be slaughtering the language. I probably have to be heiling Hitler even if he was dead. I couldn't have the freedom to say what I want to say, so...
And I think I could speak for all veterans and say, Larry, that, we appreciate your appreciation, and we wouldn't have had it any other way, whether we served 2 years or whether we served 20 years, it was worth it. And thank God for the freedom, and, thank God that we have a country like America.
And to go back to the reason Robin is in here, to talk about the Vietnam Veterans Welcome Home and All Veterans Welcome Home event, that particular group of veterans, the Vietnam vets, were so unwelcomed when they first came home. I know you guys know that better than we do. So let's talk about that. It was a really touching ceremony. So when we come back, we can talk about that. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Sunrise Automotive, this is Matt.
Hey, Matt, it's Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Listen, we're going to be doing some traveling, and I need to make sure the car is in good shape.
Why don't you just bring it on by? Let us check it out. We can check all your belts, your hoses, your tires, all your fluids. In out of town, is that up north in the cold?
Yep.
Okay. Let's check your antifreeze. Also, let's make sure your washer fluid has got alcohol in it so it doesn't freeze up north, because that makes for a rotten day. And let's check your air pressure in your tires. Let's look at your brakes. Make sure everything is safe and secure there. Let's go through it and just make sure everything is ready to go on the road. You due for an oil change?
Yep.
Whenever you come in to get your oil change, we always check your belts, your hoses, all your lights. We go through and make sure that everything is working properly. We check all your fluid levels. We do that every time you come in to Sunrise Automotive.
So just call you back at this number?
Yeah, just give me a call back at 690-1993 whenever you're ready to come in. And you can drop it off, leave it with us, whatever's most convenient for you. Look forward to seeing you at Sunrise Automotive.
Big band lovers, listen up. Monday, April 3rd at 7:30 p.m. at the Riley Arts Center in Ocala, you will be able to enjoy the best of the Stan Kenton Legacy Orchestra. Ticket prices range from $8 to $30, so come out and hear Stan's most well-known music alongside fresh new material written in the Kenton style. Again, that will be Monday, April 3rd at 7:30 p.m. What a way to start a new week. All right, 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, let's return to Veterans News. Gary Pascale sitting in Hank Whittier's place this morning.
You were going to talk about that welcome home. You know, Larry, I wanted to go to that welcome home, but we had the rodeo Friday night, and we want to just real quick thank the Justin and the folks at the Pro Rodeo Circuit there that let us do the 50-50 drawing. We did very well, but, you know, including the boss here, Joe, we were late into the night Friday, so I wasn't able to make the welcome home, but we want to thank the folks at the Rodeo Circuit, and I'm so glad that you and Robin made it. Robin, how did it go down there?
It was very moving. It was very emotional. There were, of course, all the military vehicles, a huge American flag in the back. They had all the flags that represented each branch of the service. They had a lot of spectators there that sat inside the gazebo on the chairs, on the bleachers outside. They also brought their own blankets and chairs, and they were of all ages. They were from tiny, tiny children through, you know, the most elderly you can possibly be. And the veterans were there. A lot of them were wearing caps, which denoted which service they were in. They had vests on that denoted their service and everything on the back. And it was very, very moving. It was very tearful. They honored the lady veterans. The Daughters of the American Revolution were there. It was just really a very emotional time, especially when Maureen had everybody lined up behind their flag to signify their branch of service, and then they would all come walking up the steps into the gazebo. Everybody that were non-veterans shook their hands. The gentlemen and ladies that were there in wheelchairs, they were given special courtesy around the steps. Some even brought their animals. One veteran was in a wheelchair, and he had a cute little terrier dog on his lap, and the dog would just kind of jump up and look at the other veterans, and they, you know. So it was a very somber event, but it was also had some fun times as well.
You know, at 65, I'm one that usually doesn't like change, but, you know, the change in attitude toward the veterans is something I love. I can remember back in 1971, I was marching with a naval unit in a parade. I don't remember if it was Veterans Day or the 4th of July or whatever it was, but it was some kind of special event. Big parade down in Miami, and we were in those dress white uniforms. And, you know, I was all happy, you know, just back at about 19 years old. And, you know, when we passed by the crowd, they threw rocks and tomatoes and stuff like that, and it was, you know, it really soured me, you know, for a long time, you know, and then to hear, you know, Robin talk about, you know, this kind of welcome, it's just great, you know, and I'm glad that it's finally come around. I think back in, I guess about 2003, I had a nephew come back from Iraq. And he was in his camouflage uniform and his desert boots, and he walked up to the Salvation Army, you know, to give me and Tina a hug, and just everybody around there at the benches, you know, and the staff come out, you know, and thanked him and hugged people that didn't even know him, you know, hugged him and stuff like that. And then I thought, you know, well, thank God, what a change. You know, and it was a long time coming, but it's here. And you know, for those folks that served in Vietnam, you know, I'd have to say, you know, and I don't mean to be negative about this, but you know, it's about time.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
it's about time.
Yeah.
I know one thing that inspires me is when someone comes up to me and says, "Thank you for your services," and I say, "Well, thank you for your patriotism," and we've added that, and that comes from the heart. Because we needed it at that time, and America stood up, you know. And so we who've been there because if you don't know and you've never been to war is nothing more than organized destruction, you know, just destruction. And in its days and times where we have an enemy, fifth column group which is trying to destroy our country. And we need to stand up and be counted, because if we don't, we can still lose.
You know, my grandson, he's real into military history. He's a junior at the Francis Marion Academy. He'll always say, well, Dad, who won this war? And especially wars like Vietnam and Korea, who won that war? And I told him, well, one group may have taken a bigger loss than the other, but really when it comes to war, I don't think anybody hates war more than the soldier or the Marine or the sailor. But, really there is no winner, so, if we could do it another way. But we have to have a strong defense, and that's why we really need to support our military. And, those folks that's willing to be up there, right on the front lines or in the combat support or whatever they do, it's just so important, because without that deterrent, there would be a whole lot more wars than there is. And, we're fighting kind of another war. I didn't get to go to the Welcome Home, Robin, but in the early afternoon, I had to go back to that little pavilion, and there was a memorial service there for a veteran in his early 20s that died due to an opiate problem. Oh. And, it's a big problem here in Marion County. You hear about it in Orange County, and, you're hearing about it all over the country. I think the governor of New Jersey yesterday was meeting with the president. I didn't get to hear too much about exactly what they discussed, but about the problem it's been in this country. So if you know a veteran that's suffering, from some kind of addiction, the first thing you need to do is reach out and get some help. There's so many places you can go. If you need a list, you could call Vets Helping Vets, 352-433-2320. They have them 800 numbers all over the VA. You can call the Ocala Clinic. You could call anybody, but just call somebody and get that person help. Because there's just no reason, to have to bury a person that young. And as I looked at the tears of the mother and the tears of the father, and the fact of having to bury a child, it's an awful thing. And it's not just veterans that suffer from these things. It's it's the whole population, and it's not only young people. It's older people too. So this is something that we all need to band together, I think, and something we all need to pray about as a nation. But definitely, we need to get these people help. And I want to give some kudos to the Veterans Treatment Court, because they treat the whole person over there. They not only treat the problem the person has, but they treat the cause of the problem, and they stay with no man, and that includes women. No man or woman, I'll say then, is left behind, and that's what the judge says over there, and we really try to follow suit that, and support those veterans. But hopefully it don't get to that point. Hopefully they could get help before they get in trouble. So again, if you know somebody that's got an opiate problem, get help right away, and be persistent. I know that they're not going to want you to nag them or whatever, but be persistent. How much time we got left, Larry?
We have about 40 seconds.
We got about 40 seconds. Well, Robin and Larry, I want to thank you for that good report on the Veterans Park, and I want to thank Jeffrey at the Veterans Park, because he's the one that puts all that stuff on, and the folks that got us to Veterans Park, because if we didn't have a Veterans Park, we wouldn't have a place to have all these great events. And I want to say, to close out for Hank Whittier, God bless America.
From the mountain to the prairies, to the
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian.